All right, y'all. I'm joined today by a very special guest, Crypto Crank. This dude is blowing up on the internet, man. He's trading multi-million-dollar positions. He's showing everything. He's crushing it right now. So, yo, what's going on, Crypto Crank? Thanks for coming on.
Hey, what's going on, Casper? Excited, super excited, man, to be on the show with you. It's not every day that you get to join your mentor. Your mentor, man. I've been part of the Casper crew for a very long time, and to to finally be live with you, man, is just super, super, super cool. Feels like I made it.
Yeah, bro. I mean, you're an OG in the space. You've been here forever. I think you've been like in this community longer than I have, but you've been more of like a mod of every YouTube channel and in every group, you
Hmm
know?
hmm
Um, but one thing I've always known
Yeah, I've
about you
been.
is you're a crazy trader, bro.
Yeah, man. Posted the P and L's been a mod for a very long time. For almost every crypto channel out there, man. And as I got more involved inside of the trading communities and the just the spaces, man, posting the P and L's when I could, learning. But yeah, it's been a crazy ride, man, since 2017, 2016. Just really enjoying the ride, man. It's been crazy. It's been awesome, as a matter of fact, dude. To learn as much as I can, and now eventually start doing these collabs and building my own community. And super cool, man, to get the feedback from the internet, from all the channels that I have been a mod for. Super supportive.
100%, bro. So I was hoping before you tell us exactly what Bitcoin's about to do in the next few weeks,
Mhm.
just give us a little bit of your background. Like, how did you get to where you're at right now?
So originally, I was in the car business. I was a finance manager for many years, dude. And as in the car business as a finance manager, you normally make pretty big money, man. And I wanted to learn how to trade. Yeah, I wanted to get out of the 80-hour work weeks, man, the 60-hour work weeks in the car business. And um, I started following Bitcoin and the trading communities. And I told myself, dude, I don't really care if Bitcoin's decentralized or what. I don't think it's a saving grace to it. I think it's a cash cow. So I don't really, to me, man, I was watching, people like you and Crypto Face originally. You were the only two that I were watching for a long time, and I was watching you guys make money off of this volatility. And I told myself, you know what, dude, I have pretty good money already. Let's see if I can get started, dude. So I put my first 30, 40 grand on the exchange, dude, and within 90 days I lost it. Just got crushed. And I'm like, golly, man, I need to take this a little more serious. If these guys could do it, I could do it. Everybody needs a coach. You guys are going to be my coaches. I got to go through the sticks, man, and grind through this. And so I, just took it really slow, started reading these psychology books about day trading. And eventually that's what led to me doing now, man, trading with the size that I'm trading with, watching man, you didn't have the courses 1 through 18. We sure needed those back in 2019. You know what I mean? It would have been nice, dude, to have all of these courses that you had. But yeah, man, it was just walk through it like that. And now I'm a full-time trader,
Yeah,
full-time streamer, full-time doing everything, dude, with you guys, just like you guys are doing.
that's what's up, bro. Um, yeah, so you've been trading with like some massive positions, like multi-million-dollar positions. You know, the other day you banked like 200K in one trade, right? Back in January.
January was my first $150,000 scalp day. I think my largest swing trade, dude, was like 60 grand. The good old days back in November 5th of 24 through December. I'm sure you're gonna remember that time, dude.
Oh yeah.
The election, we had all of that same levels marked, dude, and it was a good swing trade, man. And made a couple hundred grand November, December, but January, February, dude, I gave half of that back. I'll never forget it,
Wow.
dude. January 6th through February 20th, inauguration, tariffs, it just started going downhill from there, and I had to readjust to the scalping method that I do now. And even though like a lot of people see the large positions and the millions of dollars in positions, man, it's all percentages. It's just the
Yep.
same thing that you teach, what I teach. It's all percentages, man. If I'm making these $30,000 trades, dude, it's 10% on the account, 10x leverage on the account. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But yeah, that was my first major trading day. not my biggest month, but it was my biggest trading single day, dude. It was all live stream, live execution. I started off on Discover Crypto. They couldn't believe it, man. Drew and TJ, all those guys were like, "Dang, Crank, this is sick, dude." And I just kept streaming for hours during that day, man, and just nailing the scalps. But yeah, it was my very first single $160,000 day. It was insane, Jay. It really was.
That is
It was
crazy,
crazy.
bro. That is crazy. Um, yeah, man. So maybe you could like walk us through your strategy, how you're hitting these scalps like that.
Yeah, so I'll go to the chart, man,
Yeah.
and the way I teach it in the Coliseum is it's really 4 stages. I tell actually everybody, dude, if you're a beginning trader, to watch your courses, dude. Dead serious. I tell everybody if if you're gonna learn how I do my trading, to watch your courses 1 through 18. And the reason being, dude, is you don't, there's no need to reinvent the wheel. I always tell everybody you don't need to reinvent the wheel. You just need to do it better than the next person. Do it better than me. But you need all the education so that way you can have the confidence to scalp with the strategy. So again, really, it's just understanding that for one, the strategy is scalping. All right. Two, is structure, which is the ranges. Most people have a hard time finding entries and exits. And if you have a solid scalping range, multiple touches in these ranges, whether it's sideways, upward channels, downward channels, these are entries. These touches on these support and resistance, those are your entries. And then the education, man, more time inside of the chart to find these ranges. You're going to be able to find these entries, and you're going to start getting more confidence to take these scalps. And so, just to give a good example of how I do this, we could actually just go out to like a 4 hour real quick here. And the best range for me to be able to talk about this is the good old range right in here, man, between 80,000 and 94K. We have a clear range. Obviously, we have highs, we have lows. I draw it right in here, and then we also have ranges within a range. And so this is really my bread and butter, dude. We could see that these ranges right in here. We have multiple touch points. For one, again, if we're going to scalp, we need that range. Once we have our ranges, we can start defining tops and bottoms. We have tops here, multiple touches. We also have the bottoms. We could see here, 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 here. And when we have a structure like this in the Coliseum, I explain, guys, if it's also risk management is also key. All right, risk management, and our stop losses in the Coliseum are strictly based off of break of structure. You long here, break of structure. You want to get out of these trades on these scalps. If you understand the strategy that scalping, there's a million trades. There's going to be one thing that everybody feels in my community, dude, is that there's nothing missed. These big moves up, these big moves down, those are not what we're looking for. We want long, boring ranges. And these boring ranges, man, are where you can make a boat ton of money because, again, you have defined bottoms, defined stop losses, defined tops, defined stop losses. And even on the bigger swings within the range, again, here, these tops. And yeah, man, this is really the bread and butter of how I scalp and how I'm doing this. And then as we find these ranges, it gets a little bit more technical, like when people were saying like this bottom here, the fact that we didn't take this out, I knew we were going up, longed this, shorted this, and then also on this double bottom here, I have my fibs identical to yours, Jay. Yeah, you have back tested, I have back tested the 0.65, and it is gold. I mean, here we could see on the structure as well from this long accumulation range to the top of this right in here, multiple golden pockets, dude. We could see we absolutely killed. And again, guys, this is a range within a range. And then even this range right in here, this parallel. I mean, we could see just multiple touches here. Bang. We'll zoom in just a little bit. Again, you can see multiple touches. When this thing dropped, that magical 0.65 that we talk about, dude. Boom. Again. So all of these scalps right here, guys, once we're done getting our daily bread, we're done for the day. There's no need to, the longer after a winning day, you're going to start getting biased. You're going to start getting overconfident, over trading, and this alone that's a massive poison in itself. Dude, it's a
Yeah.
massive poison in itself to do that. But yeah, that's really the bread and butter of how I scalp, what I do, the ranges, how I find the ranges, multiple touches, highs and lows, and then we just get to work from there, dude. Find stop losses on the break of structure.
Nice, bro. I like your strategy, and I appreciate you referring people over to my courses, man. I actually am posting a new one right now in the process of creating a new course series for 2026. So, but yeah,
So
bro.
think about this, man. There's no need to reinvent the wheel. You've done it for us, dude. And the fact that it's free, I get to use it. So I get to promote it. And I already am part of the Casper crew, dude. So I tell everybody, learn it, dude. You walk through
Yeah,
everything that I couldn't have done it better. And it really helps
yeah.
because they get in all these channels. Everybody's part of everybody's channel until they find out that it's just the same thing and they're just
Yeah,
adding to their arsenal of trading tools. It's the same thing, but it's
it's the
just different
same thing.
styles.
Yeah, that's one thing I've
Yeah.
noticed about every trader, even if they have a different strategy. Like, I even know traders that strictly use like Ichimoku, but at the end of the day, we're looking at the same levels, you know, the same targets. It's just support and resistance. It's so crazy. Like, when you're first learning how to trade, you learn support and resistance, and then you go through this phase where you're like trying to learn Elliott waves and like order flow and TPO and all this crazy stuff because you think
It's
that's the secret.
the sauce, man, and it's not.
Yeah,
Simple trading is the best trading. I say this every stream. You don't need to overthink it, dude. Just support resistances, fib levels, and volume.
yeah,
And I promise you, simple trading in a market like this with such chop that we have, and of course, Bitcoin's volatility, you don't need to overthink the markets, man. Watch the courses, and again, everything that I'm going over, dude, I've learned from your community. I just started trading with large size because I always told myself, dude, everybody needs a coach. If you want to be a football player, dude, and you want to be the Drew Brees or the Peyton Mannings or whoever, dude, or if you want to be everybody needs a coach, dude. But you know what? I told myself I don't want to be a crypto face. I want to be a crypto crank. I want to learn how to do this, and I want to do it good, and I want to be. And it takes a lot, guys. Trading is just not all roses, man. You're gonna go through moments. I'll be the first to admit, dude, when you're losing money and you're broken and you're sad and you're crying about it, dude, and you got a wife and she. Thank God I have a wonderful support at my house, dude, because my wife's like, "You can do this. You can do this."
there's God.
And now it's robotic. It's just like you, dude. It's robotic. None of these things shake you out anymore. The uncertainty because you're now educated, so you have the confidence to stick to your levels. But that takes a lot of time, man, to get the psychology in your mind that winning in crypto is not natural. Losing in crypto is natural. And so when you start understanding that the odds are just straight up against you for one in crypto, second, I think only 1 to 3% of traders make it, dude. It's hard as it is, you know what I mean? And so yeah, man, you got to stick to the rules. You got to get the right education from the right people, and you cannot deviate from the rules or interfere with the process.
100%, bro. And make sure everybody to go subscribe to Crypto Crank on YouTube. Link in the description, link in the pinned comment. Because seriously, he's putting out some awesome content. He's live streaming. He's scalping these markets, absolutely crushing it right now. And again, he's an OG in this space. He just got into YouTube recently, but he's been doing this for years. So one thing I really appreciate about you is you are a man of faith as well, right? You're a Christian.
I am a Christian. Yeah, man. I've been my dad's a pastor, and yeah, man. I've been a believer. I had to have a come to meeting Jesus, come to Jesus meeting a few years back, man. When you're kind of indoctrinated into the faith. I was born to a family that's a pastor, and then at some point as a man, you really got to ask yourself, am I a Christian? Am I a believer? Do I actually read my word? And it just sucks, Jay. And I don't know if you've had moments like this in your life, man, where it seems like you always come to the Lord at your lows. And one thing I noticed, man, is that God kept telling me, Crank, I'm going to give it to you, but it's going to be on my terms. You keep putting all of these things before, me, and you need to put everything first, me, and then your wife, and then everything else. And so, yeah, man. Once it was God reaching out. When I say I had to come to Jesus meeting a few years back, God was reaching out. I was at a low, and one thing that God wants, dude, He doesn't want our I'm sorries. He wants our obedience. And so, yeah, man, he reached out, and I reached back for the first time as a man. I'm 35, so first time as as a man saying, "Hey, yeah, I'm a believer. I do believe in God. I do everything for Him first." And I didn't really start growing until I did that. I was fighting the system, dude, and it's for eternity. So now I do everything. Yeah, absolutely, man. And you are as well, man. I'd like to
Praise
ask you
God,
that
bro.
same question, dude. How long have you been a believer, man? When did you, and I know once you made this decision, did your life change?
Yeah, so I've been a believer since I was 22 in 2012. And the funny thing is, honestly, it happened to me at like the highest of highs in life. So my whole high school career, I just wanted to be a musician. I wanted to be in a band. I wanted a record deal. I wanted to tour. And I got all that stuff. Um, my band got signed at a high school. I started touring 9 months out of the year internationally. I remember this one point in my life, I was doing a sound check at a sold out venue. I think it was like House of Blues in like Anaheim, California or something. And I thought to myself, this is exactly what I hoped my life would be like. And somehow in that time, I just started to be super convicted about my lifestyle. And long story short, simply or similar to what happened to you, like the Lord told me, like, look, Jay, this band is your God. Music is your God. And that's not right.
Mhm.
And so I ended up quitting the band, selling all my musical stuff. And yeah, from that point on, my life completely changed. Like I had such peace about the decision. I never looked back, didn't know what I was going to do, had no education, had no friends. Because, you're in a band, you can't have relationships. I was living in my parents'
Mhm.
garage. And like you said, the Lord said, put me first, and you won't ever have to worry about anything. He said that very clearly to me one night.
Mhm. Mhm.
And I can't say I've done that perfectly, but I can say I haven't had to worry about anything. And I can also say this, like, and I don't really talk about this too much, but I'm going to talk about it now. What the heck? Ever
Cool.
since I sold all my stuff for the music, I gave all that money away. I gave it all away. And when I did that, I had such like a joy about giving away this money, right?
And you're talking about like tithing? Tithing, you gave it to the Lord, or did you
I gave it
just
to the Lord. Yeah,
you gave it to the Lord? You tithed? Yeah,
I gave it
great,
to the
cool,
Lord.
super cool.
I gave it all away. And I got such joy from that. And then I ended up where the Lord would give me goals for giving away money. And I would save up money. It would take me time to save it so I could give it away.
Mhm.
And the more I did this, the more the Lord gave me money. And the more I gave, the more he would give. And I would pray, Lord, I pray that you put people in my life where I could give to. Specifically, it was orphanages and
Mhm.
churches. And I had this prayer. I said, Lord, I pray that I'd be able to give away $200,000 a year to churches and orphanages. The time seems impossible, but he put that on my heart. I prayed this prayer every day. And,
Wow.
eventually that became a reality. That became a reality. And then I was even able to surpass that goal. And the more I gave, the more the Lord just opened up blessing financially for me in that way. And, this is the short version of the story. But all
Mhm.
that is to say, I know people are going to judge me for saying this, and that, whatever. It doesn't matter. I don't care. You know, It's so true. The Lord says in Malachi to test me in giving. If you bring your full tithe into the storehouses, the Lord's going to open up heaven and rain down blessing on you. And in my life, that's been 100% a reality. And people talk about manifesting and all this stuff, this like new age pagan witchcraft, basically. And there is some truth to that. There is. But if you leave God out of the equation, man, it's going to lead to a bad place.
And you're talking about turning churches into businesses and just do, like you're saying, like that pagan where they're demanding that you
Yeah.
tithe instead of just really coming from yourself. And that's, I had a problem with that as well, man, with tithing, because I thought, man, I'm watching these churches just dude, they're just demanding from people to tithe, weren't really talking about it from the Bible. And then I started watching some of these big churches, dude, just do some radical stuff. And I started praying, and then I'm talking to my mom, and I'm like, she goes, Crank, you just need to pray. You need to pray because God's gonna tell you where to tithe. And if something's going on shady where you're tithing, He's also gonna let you know. You need to trust Him, but you need to tithe, and you need to give your percentage to the Lord, and you need to do this. So, and you're right, man. Ever since then, it just don't worry about. I mean, that's a rowdy goal, man. If God's putting it on your heart to give $200,000 a year, and you're doing this like clockwork now, and that's amazing, dude. I mean, you're super, super, super blessed, man. That's
It's all glory
that's
to God,
awesome,
bro.
dude.
Like, yeah, I don't take any
That's
credit
awesome.
for this at all, you know? Because I know the Lord gave me that vision and he brought it to fruition. It's for His glory, not mine.
Mm-hmm,
Um,
hmm.
that's why I rarely talk about this stuff. But yeah, the Lord has done amazing things through my obedience in that way, where literally we've been able to build schools for orphans and church buildings and dig wells and build houses for people that live in nothing, um, all over the world. It's been absolutely amazing. So, for me, my faith is a huge part of what I do, and it seems like it's that way for you too.
It is. You got to walk. You got to listen, man. Like you said, He doesn't want. I'm sorry. He wants our obedience. But you know what, man? It's weird how God comes to us at the beginning in the moment of humility. It's anytime you try something new, you got to go through humility stages, man, and just understand that, you got to trust. You got to trust. And so, yeah, man. When God reached out to me, I lost a boat ton of money, dude, and this was my third time doing it. My third time losing just a ton of money, dude. And I started praying, and I said, "Oh man, do I just give this up, man? I got too cocky. Do I give this up?" And my wife was just telling me, "You need to pray. You need to pray, Crank." And so it was
Wife
weird, man.
calls you
God
crank.
told me to go. Yeah, yeah. My mom calls me Crank. Yeah, and so it was weird, man. I was praying, and long story short, man, he just said, go and talk to this dude named Greg. And I said, okay, why do you want me to talk to Greg? Well, I go and I talk to this dude, Greg, and I said, hey, God told me I need to come talk to you. He goes, God told me you were going to come and talk to me this week. And he's one of the most blessed men I've ever met in my life. I mean, Jay, this dude's rolling hard, gives all the glory to God. Twice a week, make sure that he goes to the church and cleans the bathrooms for free. Just deep into the church. He's a marriage counselor. This dude is just blessed, and he told me, God told me you're gonna come and talk to me. He goes, it's time. You've been raised into the Word, boy. You've been raised in the Word, and now it's time you start being obedient. God's gonna give you what you want, but it's gonna be on His time. But you are not gonna be putting these things first in front of Him.
Yeah.
You're gonna do it again, and you're gonna fail, and you're gonna fail, and you're failing. And then he asked me, at any point throughout all the previous success, did you ever thank God during those moments? And I thought to myself, not once. Not once did I ever say, glory to God, man. This is all just made buku money. Nope. I only prayed to him, dude, when I lost buku money and I'm ready to give up. And so this next time around, dude, like you said, I don't do it for him. I don't do it for me, dude. I do it for the Lord first. I'm trying to be a man of God with my wife, to be a leader. That's a whole nother conversation right there, dude. To be able to lead your family, and lead your wife and your kids, that's a whole nother plate to fill, dude. And but God works on those things too. He does work on those things too. So that's the part that I'm on right now, where I'm, putting the Lord first. My trading's doing extraordinary, but now I'm trying to be also a leader in my house, and that's, I've been married 15 years, dude, almost 13 years, but I've been with my wife, dude, since I was 18 years old. I'm 35. We've lived together since we were 18, and I've been married, have my children. But yeah, man, that's my next step in my life. I'm putting him first every day, the best that I can. We're all, fall short of the
Yeah.
glory of God, dude. But
Yeah.
I do want to be a man and a leader now, like the way I'm trying to do with my streams. And well, I don't even compare those two things. Actually, my streams, that's just working. But you know what I'm saying, man? Be a leader of a household, like you said. Do crazy things, dude, with my family. That's crazy, man. Because maybe I got on this stream to hear that. I can't believe you were building orphanages and wells for people that have nothing. I mean, this
It's
is
the Lord
huge,
doing it.
dude. That's a big heart. I mean, that's a big
It's the
heart,
Lord.
Jada. Super, super cool to hear that, man.
I'm
I'd
just
like to
a
ask you oh, go ahead.
yeah, I look at it as like we're just vessels. Like for some reason the Lord gave me that vision, and
Hmm. Hmm.
it's not like anything that I did, but he gave that to me. And then because I listened, God was able to do those things. So for me that's encouraging, because no matter what vision the Lord gives you, if you listen, God's going to do that thing through you,
Hmm.
you know? And like you said,
And what about being like a pastor, man? Being do they call them a pastors, or what is it? I know you have your other channel and you're working on that as well.
oh yeah.
I've watched some of it when you're inside of the church, man. And
Yeah,
is that another calling for you, dude, other than day trading?
I don't know. I'm very passionate
Ooh,
about studying scripture. I
yeah.
actually teach
You're
biblical
pretty
Hebrew.
well versed, brother, in both languages. That's sick.
If you ever want to
So
learn
sick.
biblical Hebrew, I've got a free course on that too. I'm not even kidding.
That's awesome. And you know full blown Hebrew, dude. You know how to speak full blown Hebrew?
Ken. I mean, low. I can't really speak modern conversational Hebrew. I could get by. I could
Mm.
ask where the bathroom is and order some food, but um, I'm mostly biblical Hebrew.
Okay. Okay. Cool. Cool. Amazing, dude. It's hard to learn. That's awesome. I guess not the Bible, but to understand it in its most natural form, I would say, right?
Yeah, I highly encourage, if anyone's into that, pursue learning the original languages, because
Mm.
it'll help you grow in your love and knowledge of the Lord.
Did you notice any differences, dude? Between, I don't know what kind of Bible you read. Like, I'm a New King James version. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And did you notice the differences between two when you started understanding?
Well, I mean, you
I'd like to know because
you understand
you know what I mean.
why they translate things different ways. Whenever you're going from one language into another, there's going to come a time where you have to make a decision, because the word could be translated maybe like 4 or 5 ways. So you have to make a decision. So it doesn't necessarily change the meaning, but it might take away some of the depth, or depending on which word you choose, it might add depth or something like that. There's a lot of
Hmm.
wordplay that
Hmm.
happens in the Hebrew that you totally miss in the English. Um, and even in the Greek, there's certain things that grammatically the Greek is implying certain things, and you can't really translate that into the English unless you add a whole bunch of other words. So
Hmm. Hmm.
I hope that makes sense. But in general, I have to
No, it
say
does,
the
man.
English Bibles are very good. You know,
Okay.
if you know,
They're not
for
doing us wrong. They're not doing us wrong, man, and falling us short. They're pretty spot on.
I think so. I mean, if you get into like textual criticism and like different manuscript traditions and stuff, you can go down that road and you'll see why some people say like newer translations remove verses or whatever. And there's reasons for all
Hmm.
that stuff. No one's trying to do you dirty,
Cool.
bottom
It's
line.
good to know, man. I mean, I like hearing it because you're way more versed than me, dude. Like I said, I'm just getting started all over again, like a newborn, man. I've been, yeah, super cool. Do you want to go over some charts, dude? I loved hearing all of this, dude,
Yeah.
because again, it's on my heart. I can't believe that you're, I love the story, dude. I love, like I said, dude, he comes to us in humility. I had to just say, man, okay, now it's time. I've known better. Now I got to, and it's going to start being weird taking that step every day. But now, dude, now it's just like you said, all glory to God. The more you give to him, the more confident you're going to be to do it over and over and over again. And even if, things go wrong, dude, even while you're believing, he still has the ultimate plan, dude. He's got the ultimate plan on how all this is going to go down, you know.
Amen, bro. Seek him first, everything else will just fall into place.
Love it. Super love it.
So yeah, man, if you could give us a secret, what's Bitcoin going to do? Is the low end? What do you see for the rest of 2026? I know you're a scalper, but I want you to give us some higher time frame analysis here so that this video has some time to be relevant.
So one thing I like saying, guys, about macro time frame is eventually it's going to come to you. There's a million different ways to trade within all of these ranges. I'll trade the macro time frames, dude, when that price action comes to me. But other than showing these things, I mean, man, let's go. Let's just start off with BTC USD. Let's go to a long-term Coinbase chart. And when we pull these fibs, dude, from the bear market lows of 15.3 up to all-time highs, I really do believe the fact that we front ran this, dude, to $54,000. I don't think that the bottom's in. Just me personally, I don't think that the bottom's in.
Agreed.
I know we've seen a lot of people also show the trend line of 35K. When we look at it from here to here to here, these macro targets, 30, 35K, somewhere in here. I would say, dude, I don't like on the 3-week, dude. Momentum is just completely coming down. RSIs are coming down. This momentum wave's just getting started. On a weekly, same thing. We're just getting started. Do I think that a short squeeze is imminent? Absolutely. 72 to 84 grand, somewhere in there. You know what I mean? Would be a super, super strong short squeeze. But on the macro, dude, I mean, these momentum, this thing is, I mean, I do like that this is a lower high on the weekly right in here. This
Yeah, I see it right there.
bullish divergence. This bullish divergence. I do like this. Dude. So do I think that a bounce is imminent? On the daily, I'm saying it absolutely looks like we're getting a pump here shortly. Sometime within the next week, I think this thing's going to rip. This is very, very similar to this price action right in here. We could see, this momentum wave here. And then we also had, these smaller momentum waves right in here. Money flow was fat, tight RSIs, really, really tight RSIs. Money flow just getting flat. We had one more dip. This momentum wave was created. This one's going to do the same thing, I think, dude. Money flow just kind of gets flat like this, and then bang, we got ourselves this bear market pump. And this looks like very, very identical. I mean, look, we just came up just like that. I think that this is going to be, very similar. This thing's going to end up coming up to, I'd say, I mean, this move right here, dude, was 15% on this money flow. And I think that's 15% right now. I mean, from this bottom, dude, is right around $72,000, 74 grand, dude, I think is going to be our first big hurdle.
Yeah.
But I don't think our Bitcoin bottom is in, dude. I don't think 60K was it, man. Even though that's down 50%. What do you think? I mean, I think on the daily, we're definitely getting this pump. This looks identical. This money flow is getting flat. I'd like to see this right in here. I'd like to see this momentum wave kind of curve, do the exact same thing here and here, and we get this pop right up into here.
I'm looking for the same as you, bro. The higher low so far looks pretty nice from the 60K low. I'm looking for a bull trap, and then I'm looking for one or two more big dumps. I've bought my first spot Bitcoin here for the bear market.
It's 60K. Yeah, I know you had a post, dude, from a couple months ago. You said, hey, I will start buying Bitcoin under 70K.
Yeah.
We got this double bottom here. I know you like this confirmation as well, dude. I know you like this confirmation on the weekly here. This was pretty nice, dude. I like this. on the weekly, but I just don't know, man, if this is really the bottom. And I'm sure you've seen this as well. What do you think about the time frame on the weekly, dude?
Yeah, I mean, did you see Flop and Groper's video recently?
He was in my stream last night, and he specifically told me, watch the video. He goes,
Yeah.
Crank, I just went over all of this stuff. He goes, dude, it's a good. I need to watch it because you're the second. I need to watch it today because I'm sure. Is this what he's breaking down? That
He
it's
was just
like,
saying, yeah, like we're at some pretty critical support with a double bottom on the weekly. He's saying maybe the low's not as low as people are thinking. He's not calling for a
mhm,
V-shaped
mhm.
recovery, but he's saying maybe we consolidate in this area and don't come as low as people think, uh, which is an interesting possibility. But I just go back historically and look at the red money flow on the weekly. And basically, if you start buying when money flow curves into the red on the weekly and we break structure on the monthly, you start DCAing or buying on every dip, you're like in the sweet spot, man.
So
So,
you're thinking, I mean, so you're starting to DCA in. I was gonna take some of these profits from the last 2 months, man, and I was gonna buy a couple Bitcoin, but I'm like, do I trade with it and just continue to do these ranges, or do I guess that's the difference, man, between trading and investing. You know what
yeah.
I mean? If I bought Bitcoin, I'm putting it away and I'm storing it, and I'm not touching it for till we get way past. I know for certain. I know for certain for Bitcoin, 126 is not the high.
Oh, for sure.
I know for certain, but I do not believe for certain that the bottom is in
Yeah.
for Bitcoin. So, but it's like you said on your last video, last couple videos, you said for certain though you're not buying a top,
Yeah.
which you're buying at a 50% discount plus.
Good.
So for certain you're not buying a top. So yeah, I would tell all the communities for sure. I'd start DCAing in.
Yeah.
I know you, and do you agree Bitcoin's top is not, it's not 126, dude. No way. Bitcoin's going to $1 million. I think for certain it's going to $1 million.
Yeah, I mean, that wouldn't surprise me. I'm shooting for like 180 to 200 first, and then, yeah, 500.
Before your next sell, is that what you're thinking? You buy
Yeah.
here and you're going to take that 150% off of the
Hmm.
table and just
Yeah.
keep readjusting, maybe turn that 126 or true 100K into support as we
Yeah.
go into 2028, 2032, somewhere in there.
Yeah, man. I mean, I've made so much money just with the 4-year cycles since 2016. Um, just buying dumps and then setting sell targets on the way up. And so I'm hoping to do the same thing this time. So pretty much my strategy right now, and I have 3 compartments. Like I'm a forever hodl guy. Like I've got my forever Bitcoin hodl. I'm not going to touch it forever. Then I have my long-term swing trading spot where I trade the 4-year cycles. Money flows red, I'm buying every big dump. And then on the way up, as we approach all-time highs, I start selling. Um,
Okay.
all that is
Okay.
separate from my trading. So I don't even mix those at all. Like my leverage trading
Hmm.
is not
Hmm.
mixed at all with my Bitcoin buying, you know? But I would prefer a move
That's
down between 30 and 40K. Like that's where historically we bottom out at that 786 fib. You've got it on your chart.
you like this right in here at the 54. Yeah, I would really like it, man. I mean, dude, this is huge. I mean, multiple bounce zones. I know that me and you have gone over the same chart right here with the same fib that we front ran this one. Remember how we front ran this one and we were waiting for it?
Yeah.
We totally
Yeah.
front ran this one, and I'm like, shoot, man, I can't believe that this thing. And then
Yeah.
I stick to the same rule that you taught us, dude, that if we typically front run these golden pockets, we normally melt right through them,
Yeah.
just completely melt right through them. And so, but that did not happen until a year later. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Where we did melt right through
It
it.
took some
So
time.
it did, and it actually bottom, and like you say, it normally comes right down to the 786 if it melts right through it. And look, dude, I mean, this is
Yeah.
still, even if we pull the fib, dude, but see, what I don't do now is when structure's broken, dude, I pull the fibs way farther out. You know what I mean? I can't stick to that structure anymore. Now I have to pull it from literally the whole market structure.
Yeah.
And yeah, we are front running this again. And so maybe this is the bottom, dude. Who knows?
Yeah.
I just, with the confidence that I'm building right now in my scalps, I'm gonna make a lot of money
Yeah.
from 65 to 72, from 72 to 78, from 78 to 82s was a huge level as well. 80, 84s to 89s, 89 back to 82. I mean, 94s to 97s. There's so much to be made. And so, but yeah, now what do you also think, man, about altcoins? I've been preaching,
Oh,
guys, that the money didn't. Everyone's talking. This is probably going to be a much larger bull run, and I'm like, guys, if the money didn't rotate at $126,000 Bitcoin, why in the world would you think it's going to happen now?
yeah.
And me personally, I think if it was an institutional bull run, I do think that you need to stick to the institutional assets. So Bitcoin, Ethereum, Solana, XRP, and and then the only two that I think that were really strong during this cycle was BNB and Tron. If we look at Tron, dude,
Yeah.
Tron hasn't been in a bear cycle for years. It's just been cooking, dude.
Everyone uses Tron,
BNB,
the network at
say it
least.
again.
Everyone uses the Tron
Everyone
network.
uses Tron.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I
And
mean,
everyone uses Binance.
everyone uses Binance. I mean, dude, Tron is just a bulletproof asset right now, dude. BNB looks absolutely amazing, man. And so, when I'm telling these guys about, we're back into this heavy accumulation area again from here to here. I mean, this is buy zone for me, dude, for BNB. But again, if it's an institutional asset, the money didn't rotate from Bitcoin into altcoins. This is our first, uh, you know, 4-year cycle is still intact, but there's only two things that happened. One, Bitcoin put in an all-time high a year before the halving, and two, we didn't have an alt season. I mean, other than that, the 4-year cycle is intact. Bitcoin's right where it should be. We should probably bottom somewhere between September through November, start our accumulation, and most people need to understand that tops are made in a day, bottoms are created over weeks and months. And so just be very careful investing into altcoins is what I would say, dude, because the money didn't rotate the first time. I don't think it's going to happen the second time. And third, we had some assets that nobody even knew about, dude, that had massive partnerships. Like Canton Network came up out of nowhere. Do you see what
Yeah.
I'm saying? Like, we don't even know the real blockchain that's going to be used for RWAs and governments. And
Right.
so I just be very careful. How do you feel about that?
Well, I mean, my expectations were not met this cycle with the altcoins, and thankfully, I've always been very Bitcoin heavy. But I am not buying any altcoins right now. As I'm buying Bitcoin, I'm not buying altcoins. I'm not buying anything unless they dip below their 2022 lows, and I'm only going to be buying coins that I know are sticking around. Ethereum, Solana, that kind of stuff. Chainlink, for sure.
Yeah, I want, and that's one asset that I do want a lot, and that's what I was thinking too, dude. If I bought a few Bitcoin, I really would love Solana at like 20-30 bucks, dude. We got so
Yeah.
close. I would buy like a boat ton of Solana, dude. Like a boat ton of Solana, because I do think that that's an easy play just to get back to 170s,
Yeah. Even
209.
if we
That's an
range,
easy play, dude.
like
Oh
even if we
yeah,
never like
that's
go parabolic, it's a nice play, like you said. And I feel like an idiot
it's an
not selling. I watched my altcoin portfolio go up, and I didn't sell anything because I didn't hit any of my sell targets. So now I just have to hodl it back down, and if I can get in lower than my original entry, then I will, and then I will take the profit when we come back up.
yeah. No, normally what I'll do too, man, was when momentum's on our side, to the upside, then I'll start doing coin margin as well. Like I did a
Nice.
challenge, dude, where I turned 100 Chainlink into 2,000 Chainlink, 10 Solana into 300 Solana. And I did it all live stream, but I was teaching people how to coin margin trade. And the reason being, I don't, if I'm going to buy these bags and I'm going to hold them, sometimes I'll do that too, man. Like I'll buy a quarter piece of Bitcoin when it was at 80K, dude. And then the moment we went up to, we popped back up to 100. You know what I mean? I sold that. Or when we dropped all the way down to 90 and we went right back to 116, I'll take trading profits. I'll buy Bitcoin specifically to trade, but I'll hold it because it's just growing my trading account, dude, massively. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
While we're in this momentum phase, but there's a huge difference between touching 80, 90, 100K for the first time, even a second time for a bounce, and then hitting it multiple times to the upside and getting rejected. So then
Yeah.
momentum's not on our side anymore. I don't want to sit inside of those assets. That's a cutoff point for me where I'm like, okay, it's time to just to stack tether and trade. But
100%. Yeah, bro.
yeah,
So why
man.
don't you tell everybody where they can find you online and all that stuff? Discord, YouTube, socials, all that.
Yeah, if you guys want to follow me on X, it's at Real Crypto Crank. Just go right onto X. I'm going to be there. I post all of my trades. I'm posting the setups, the P&Ls. And then on my YouTube, it's just at Crypto Crank. And I go live almost every day. I do market analysis. I'm really known for just doing the live executional trading. One thing that I really pride myself on is getting into a stream, a 1 hour stream. I'm in no trades. And over the hour, 2 hours, we execute live trading, live executional trading, live scalps. And but yeah, follow me on YouTube. Follow me on X, guys. Those are my two socials.
Awesome, bro. I appreciate you coming on, man. God bless you. And we'll have to do it again.
Let's do it again, man. Let's do it again, and we'll go live and we'll break it all down, baby. I really appreciate it, guys. Everybody in the Coliseum, make sure to follow Casper. You guys, he's a real one, man. There's not a lot of real traders out there that are breaking down true alpha, showing positions, P&Ls, being transparent. Guys, follow Jason Casper. I man, can't plead it hard enough. So thank you again, Casper. I really appreciate it, dude.
Thank you, bro. God bless. Peace.
God bless.